welcome to Plumbing Solutions Educational Series. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the pipe wrench. Now, this is probably one of the most iconic symbols in the plumbing industry. If you see a picture of one of these on a truck going down the road, it's probably a plumber on the way to his next job. The only other profession that I could think of that might use this as their symbol would be like oil rig workers, where they still use some very large pipe wrenches on some of their drilling equipment. Now, the history behind the pipe wrench, this particular design was patented in 1869. It has changed very little since then. It really didn't get its notoriety and take off until that late heavy industrial age, early 1900s, the 1920s and 40s and stuff like that. And it did kind of become a symbol for hard work, pride, and the American worker. But like I said, it hasn't changed much. There's various different sizes. I would consider this a medium-sized one. It's a 14-inch. There are smaller ones, and then they do get up into some great big old sizes. This is a 24-inch one, and they do come larger than this. I don't use this one a whole lot, but I have used it in a pinch when something just won't listen to me, and either I'm going to break that thing or it's going to come loose for me. Now, the working parts on this thing, there's a top jaw, and there is this little collar here that spins to adjust it up and down for various different sizes. And it's got a spring and it rocks back and forth. But what's going to do all the work for you is these teeth. And these teeth are designed in a certain way where they're angled in a direction, so that when you put this on on the pipe or material, and you turn it, it's going to bite in one direction. In the other direction, it's going to let go and let you get another bite, and that way you can keep turning it, kind of like a ratcheting mechanism. But that's pretty much how it works. Now, what you're primarily going to use this tool on is black iron for gas lines. It's probably what we use the most for this guy would be your black iron, good for gas lines. Now, if it's outside, you might want to paint it because this stuff will rust, but it's going to hold up for a pretty good long time. The next thing would be galvanized. Now, galvanized is good for gas. It's really good for gas. It is more expensive than your black iron, and you can use it for water, but I don't recommend it because this stuff gets pretty gunky on the inside after a while, and eventually it will fail on you. But perfectly fine for gas. It holds up great in the weather, but I really wouldn't use it for water line. After that, we have our lead-free brass, and all this stuff is pretty much the same. It's threaded the same, the fittings look the same. Your lead-free brass is going to be for your potable water. This holds up great for water. I really wouldn't recommend burying this in the ground, but you can. And these are pretty much the main materials you're going to use your pipe wrench on. Now, you can use it on compression fittings, stuff like this. Now, there's one thing out there that really bothers me. When I go to a restaurant or something like that, or in a commercial building, and I go in their bathroom and they have Sloan valves in there, and somebody's taken their pipe wrench and they've put it on these finished nuts. This is brass, lead-free brass with chrome plating on it, and the way those teeth work, they will bite into that material, and I see it all the time with little teeth marks and track marks all around these things or on that top nut where they had to get in there and replace that valve. It drives me crazy. This is a finished product. Don't mark it up with your pipe wrench. If you're going to be doing a lot of these, go ahead and get you a spud wrench or some kind of flat-jawed wrench. This is what this is for. So take pride in what you do. Be clean. Make it look pretty. This is a finished product. People are going to look at it, stare at it, see it all the time. So take care of it. I Well, that's about it. I'm going to zoom in close and I'm going to kind of show you how this thing rocks back and forth and how it bites into this material. Using your pipe wrench. Now, the first thing I'd like to say is this is a pipe wrench. It has a specific job to do for you. This is not a hammer. Don't use it as a hammer. You're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody or break your tool, and then you're going to have to go get a new one. So this is a pipe wrench. Now, the pipe wrench is going to work the same on the black iron as well as your lead-free brass as well as your galvanized. Not much different in the fittings, it's the different in the material. Now, this is designed to rock back and forth and bite with those teeth. So you'll get it on your pipe, you get your size adjusted out right, and you can see how it will loosen in one direction and tighten in the other as it lets go and then bites. And it'll bite and let go, bite and let go. And that's how it works. Now, as you can see, I marked that thing all up by doing that. Now, you can put these on these fittings. These fittings have like a raised collar area. Some of them have these little tabs that help you grab them a little bit better. Once you've used your pipe wrench a lot, you'll get really used to it. One thing I would say is don't put it on these threads unless you're trying to just break something free and you're going to throw this piece away, because once you put your pipe wrench on this threaded piece, those teeth are going to bite into it and it's going to mess that all up and you'll never get that next fitting on there. Now, when you're dealing with, say, a close fitting like the one that's over here, there is no flat spot. There is no flat spot on that. So you're going to have to, get this started by hand. Of course, you're going to pipe dope all this stuff. I'm just kind of showing you how to use the tool, not necessarily how to run a bunch of gas line. But you're going to want to grab it on that next fitting and turn it that way and tighten that whole thing up together because you don't want to mess those threads up. But that's pretty much it. It works the same, like I said, on the brasses, the galvanized, and then you can just grab a hold of that big nut. This stuff doesn't matter if it gets teeth marking all marked up in, but watch out for your threads and don't put it on your Sloan valve. Alright, thanks a lot, guys.